YouTube. Just wanted to make a quick video about how I've been recently wasting my time. The most recent update was I was going to enter into this competition, and let me zoom in some more. Anyway, so one of the YouTubers that I follow, Cole, he's a guy who does a bunch of AI stuff, and he made a competition where he was going to have people submit AI agents, and then he put them into his AI agent library, and if you were able to do a good job and people rated your thing highly, then you could win some money, that's great. But main thing would just be to like participate, have fun. Um, One of the things in the competition guidelines was around voice flow, so building an agent with voice flow. So voice flow, for those of you who don't know, is kind of like, I guess, like a GUI. It's like an AI builder tool. So like here's voice flow. Do I have to zoom into all these windows? Probably. Let me zoom in. So inside of VoiceFlow, you can just build out you can build out your own little AI workflow using a GUI, and it's got all these different. It'll store variables that you might be using or messages. Essentially, it to me it looked like a way to um, very easily create your own AI workflow, but I'm not such a huge fan. I mean, like I only signed up for this a few days ago, but I don't really like the interface. Something I was interested in was I saw on their website that it had an integration with Twilio so that you could make phone calls and like, handle your AI agent with that, which I thought would be really cool because my idea was, um, I want to keep up with my grandmother and have her be able to like call into a phone number because she's not on the internet and then just talk to an AI agent and maybe like give some stories that then we could put into like a vector database, and then that'd be just a cool way to kind of keep track of grandmom's stories and then go from there. But the problem that I quickly ran into is that apparently that the integration with Twilio is some sort of beta program that you need to sign up for. And I signed up for it days ago, but there's still no response. So I'm thinking it's one of those things where they haven't fleshed this out, and so it doesn't really work in their workflow. So back to the competition, I was going to use VoiceFlow, but now I can't. So I'm not going to use VoiceFlow. So then what I started to do is I started to waste my time, not waste my time, but I started to make my own solution, which again, I'm still calling it Story Eater, but to dive into the way that it works. So here, let me just show you. I have the app working, and what it's going to be doing is it uses Twilio. It starts running on a server. I'm then dialing into Twilio, which is then hooking into my code. So it's essentially just a webhook, but um, I have further stuff I want to do, but for now, I'll just show you how it works. So let me dial into the number.
You have a trial account. You can remove this message at any time by upgrading to a full account. Press any key to execute your code. Hi. I'd love to chat about your memories. Press any key to interrupt me if I talk too much. What would you like to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about my grandmother. She's really, really cool. Her name is Annette, and she's a really special lady, and I love her very much.
That sounds wonderful. What makes Annette so special to you?
My grandmother's always been there for me. She always would show up all the time to like special events and Halloween. I'll never forget that she dressed up as a giant alien one time for Halloween, and she would always come dressed up to my school, and she's just always been there for me all the time. She's great. I love my grandma.
That sounds amazing. Grandmothers have a special way of making everything feel more special. What was the best costume you remember her wearing?
One time she showed up at my school with a giant alien costume, and I couldn't tell that it was her. So she was completely incognito, and I just thought that that was super, super amazing that she could just be so hidden, and I didn't know who it was. And it turned out it was my grandmother, who I love very much. So it was great.
Wow, that's hilarious. Must have been quite the surprise. What was the occasion for the alien costume?
There was no special occasion. It was just she was just showing up to my elementary school, and I think it was just a funny costume. Like she like really didn't look like herself, but looked like really full body costume. Didn't look like my grandmother. Looked like a giant alien. And then it's like, who's this? And then she took off the mask, and underneath was my grandmother. It was great.
That's hilarious. Grandparents always have a way of surprising us, don't they? Did you do that often? Show up in costumes, or was it the one-time thing?
It was a one-time thing. Anyway, I'm tired of talking. I'm just gonna go get off the phone. Bye. And there you have it. So this was my idea, was that essentially we just record all these things, and I don't know if you can see the screen going, but it's recording everything I say, and then it's also recording the AI response. And I was trying to hook it up to OpenAI's new real-time API, which seemed like it was working well. But anyway, the point is now I have all these logs. I also have the MP3 files, but right now the MP3 is only from the AI. But I might stop here just because I'm not going to succeed in the competition. I don't think I'm going to be able to win, but I don't know. Like right now, I'm working on other stuff, but it's kind of like just wanted to give you guys an update in case this is something that's interesting to you guys. But the idea is that there are a lot of old people out there. There's a lot of data out there, a lot of great stories, and it would just be awesome if we could capture that. So that's my use case. I haven't been working on MCPs in a while. I think this is like a bigger project that might take more of my time, but just to let you know that I am making progress in things. I'm just not making progress in the things um, that are related to Claude or MCPs. So anyway, the idea would be store this into a RAG database, and then when the caller calls back in, then be able to like comb the RAG database and get information and go from there. So it's kind of a big project, but I don't know. I might throw it up on GitHub, and if people want to contribute and get their own stories from their own grandparents, could be something we do open source and then people work together. But I'm tired, so I just wanted to update you on my brief progress on that. But if you like the idea, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. I really don't care. I do see the number go up in the channel, which is nice, and there are more comments and everything, but it's like a double-edged sword. It's like on the one hand, more people are watching the channel, but on the other hand, then I feel obligated to make more content, which I don't necessarily want to do, but I don't know. I do and I don't. So I'm of two minds. It's kind of like it's nice to be needed, but at the same time, it's also like I don't know. I never want to get into like feeling like something is like overly burdensome. So it's a fine balance to walk. Anyway, this is my thing that I was going to enter in the competition, but I don't think I'm going to enter it now because according to these guidelines, I mean, one, it wouldn't be the voice flow thing, which is fine. I saw N8N as well, and that's cool, but I think the major thing is that I might still submit it, but I need to work on it a little bit more. And I think what I'll do is I'll just put it into Docker. So, I mean, I think that was one thing is that the secure, not the whatchamacallit. Yeah, for the competition, I need to submit it. I think just as Docker and inside a Docker container, and then it's fine. Because I think what's going to happen is they're going to host this on their own site and make API calls, but maybe this is too much. I really don't know. And I haven't like checked. There's also said that you need to stay under a certain amount with like API calls, and I don't have no idea. So maybe I'll reach out to Cole and ask him like, hey, I need some help here. I don't necessarily want to go with this setup, but yeah. I do think this is a cool use for an AI agent. I don't know if I'm going to enter into the competition, but the way that I see it, an AI agent should be something that you can talk to and it can do things for you. And for an old person, I think in this particular situation, it's almost more like a transcription tool, but it does help out insofar as like it talks to you and it should be helpful and ask questions and try to jog your memory. So it's an agent, but it's not an agent that's going out and using a bunch of tools. It's more like just a back and forth conversation with an LLM. So I don't know. I'll think about entering it still, but as of right now, I'm kind of like just tired and I probably won't enter it. This is a long-winded video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Signing off.